Ra speaks. See through all eyes. Hear through all ears. Be the voice. Be a bee. Pollinate. Feel the beauty. See the beauty. Be the beauty. Wrapped in supreme happiness with maximum efficiency, minimum effort. The highest good of all concerned. The law of one. Shine, you diamonds, shine. Good day. This is Elizabeth Diamond and Christopher Stephen Jacobs on our second episode of Raw Speaks through the Diamonds Network. And we will review series number 2 with David Wilcock and Corey Good, titled First Encounter. And I really recommend you, as you follow these, you go to DiamTV, GAIMTV.com, and there's more than David's show on there. There's a lot of shows of beauty. You want more beauty in your life? Go there. $10 or less a month. And you can watch it through your TV with different devices, too. So, and this is August 16, 2015. So I just want to start with this. The bad guys, I want to remind us, the bad guys, the cabal, the elite, the controllers, the media propaganda news machine, the ones that fooled all of us using our powers, using our emotions, by the way, to be their slaves. The false flag, the many things they start and then use our fear to power those things up. Our fear, as we observe these things on the world news, the mass media, creates what they want. Well, let's create what we want, right? So, just want to remind you, have faith. Faith is the substance. Faith is a substance. Look up the definition of substance. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. Faith is substance. Faith is evidence. And where is faith? In you. Faith is in your emotions. Okay, so you whistleblowers out there, you're not in the position you're in by accident. Come on and get a grip. Come on, take it full circle. Do not waste it. Hello. Good morning. Be the superheroes now to spark humanity out of their slumber. We are tired of sleeping. We want to awaken in the dream and create beauty. Not only that, but beauty wrapped in supreme happiness with maximum efficiency, minimum effort. Because we are all one. We all want the highest good of all concerned. Come on, those whistleblowers, disclosure, plowing the garden, superheroes, blow your whistle, because we want to be superheroes too. But it's your turn first. Please take your turn, so we, the mass people, can do it too. We have slept too long. Please, please, awaken us, superheroes. You, and you, all of you listening. It is your turn now. Awaken us ultimately to beauty forevermore. It's time. Pollinate. And we at Diamonds Network challenge you also. Yes, you. You know who we're talking to. You do not give in to coercion. Do not give in to fear. That's just false evidence appearing real. For God's sake, have faith. So welcome, Chris. How are you today?
Doing good, Elizabeth. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. It's been a very nice weather lately here in Minnesota. So let's get started, Chris. And now we're reviewing and expanding on the first ever heard information from David Wilcock and Corey Good Corey Good's involved in the secret space program, amongst many, 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 many others, even on Earth. Yes, on Earth. And we'll talk a little bit about that and paint a picture today. And that title is First Encounter. So basically, the first point I want to bring forth is what I made up called galactowizing. That's relationshiping with our brothers and sisters, galactic-wise, our star brothers and sisters, ETs, aliens, little green men, people call them in the world, and more, but they're aspects of ourselves. So they really are relationshiping with us, not just at Diamonds, not just with David and Corey, but all of us. So bring in kind of this story. There were two men. One man was on Earth, and for 4 years he was in the privacy of his own home for personal gain, building relationship with an ET. And then there was another man, and he was on the moon, in an alliance on the moon, this space program alliance, Moon Operation Command. Around the same time for 4 years, he was also in a personal way in the privacy of his own home, relationshiping with an ET alliance, and that is the Blue Avian. Beknownst to both of them, they didn't know that, but then something happened, and these Blue Avians joined up the man that was on the moon on the Moon Operations Command, and the man that was down on Earth that has been up there before. And these Blue Avians got these two men together and had one of the men, Corey, be a liaison for the secret space program of many ETs and many humans from Earth in a conference room attending a conference to meet the Blue Avians for the first time. And there's another aspect of the story. We've learned that there are ships that pick people up in their backyard, yes, their backyard, and take them to the moon in 3 or 4 minutes. Now, in this conference meeting room, there were many, many people, many, as Corey says, that were in many different sorts of military uniforms, many different sorts of different country clothing, politicians, military, all from around the world, humans from Earth that were there up there in the moon in this conference meeting to meet the Blue Avians for the first time and get their message. Corey being the liaison, the translator for the Blue Avian. So I bring that forth because this is a lot what we do on the Diamond Show, Galactowise, in the different sorts. I just want Chris to come in, and recently, the last month or so, I think it was Tyler, and he's from he sits on a council of an alliance in the Galactic-wise, or Chris will remember, but we got an update from our ET Star Brothers and Sisters that they were grouping together and galactowizing, relationshiping. And so anyway, to bring Chris in to expand on what I just talked about.
Okay. Starting with what Corey said about meeting these Blue Avians in person, and the way he described them. Now, the way I've seen them has always been transparent, but I still see them. I see them on different density, but I still see them in their actual height, their actual substance. When they're in solid form, they've even offered to meet me in person before. So I really don't know when that is. They gave me a lunar date, and I'm not good at reading lunar dates, so I'm going to have to study up on that. But they have offered to meet in person and discuss things. And Tyler did say that they do They do converse all of the time now. You know, there's some beings that hadn't really come together before, like, say, Valiant Thor, Tyler, some of the Elam Council, Pleiadians and such, but and the Blue Avians, but now they're all kind of working together with other races that were from different densities and even different time frames, like the Syrian star beings. Now, I'm not talking about the cats. I'm talking about the blue-skinned, pointed-eared, elven appearing beings. Not many people know too much about them because they, when they think of Cirrus, people think of the cat beings, but it's not the same. But I also found out that those Syrian beings are related to the Blue Avians as well. They're just from the future. And that's just a whole big cluster of different beings from different time frames and different dimensions, different realities, even some from this reality all gathering together to get to one goal, and that's full disclosure.
Absolutely. So what me and Chris are just at this point we're talking about is the beginning of episode 2 with David and Corey. And my point is we are very much into the transitioning, and just that little story is an example of what's going on around the whole Earth with humans galactizing with other beings, and even now that we know about the secret space program, not just only on Earth, but it's even mixing up with going to other planets on these ships that pick you up. But so I just really recommend that you go to episode 2 on Gaim TV, and there's a lot of detail in that. It's really good. Just I want to add this note, too, regarding galactizing. Now, there's a man on a show a while back that talked about when we're awakening in the dream, our consciousness expanding in the shift and in the transition, the little children will start dreaming, vivid dreams. And they'll be sitting, like, for example, at the lunch table at school and said, hey, I had this dream last night, and they tell about the dream. And the little girl next to her listening to that, oh, wow, I had that same dream last night. Well, I'm here to tell you it's going on. I had personal hand experience with that yesterday. My granddaughter, 6 years old, shared a dream with me regarding galactizing with our star brothers and sisters. So let us play that now. It's just like 2-3 minutes long, and it's very beautiful. It's the children now engaging, not just now, but my point here is it's happening with everybody, whether you're conscious of it or not. Your unconscious knows. So take a listen. Hello, this is Elizabeth Diamond here, and it's Saturday, August 15th of 2015. Just a small recording here, and this afternoon I went out to eat with my family and my grandchildren. Alexis is 6, and Shay and Caden twins are 4, and my daughter. So we're just now getting done to eat. We're going to the beach. But during our dinner at an Italian restaurant, was really good, by the way, my 6-year-old granddaughter shared a dream with me that she had last night. So we're going to talk about that. She had this dream Friday night or probably early Saturday morning on August 14th, 15th, 2015. So welcome, Alexis. Hi.
Hi.
How are you today?
Good.
Okay, Alexis. Now, tell us about the dream you had, what you remember. Yeah.
They were blue aliens. The cute ones were,
Their name was, what was their name?
ducklings.
The little blue aliens were ducklings. So before we get started in the story, Alexis, tell us what they look like. The chin.
The chin is triangle, and the head is oval.
And what are their eyes? Their eyes. You told me what color their eyes were.
They're black.
And then what do their ears look like?
Like person's ears.
Except it didn't have the lobes on the ears, right?
Except it didn't have the lobes on the ears.
So it was just round on the side? round holes on the side for their ears.
And I said, yeah. Yes.
Okay. What color were they?
Blue.
Okay. So, tell us what happened in the dream.
The big black bad blue one
Came and was trying to hurt you.
is trying to hurt me, and I called ducklings really loud, and they came and blocked him before they got me.
You yelled what really loud?
Ducklings.
And they blocked him?
Yeah. And then they didn't block him, and then he came to be nice.
He gave you a hug or something?
And he gave me a hug because he was being nice.
So there was a big blue alien, and then he was going to be bad to you, and you called ducklings, and little blue ones came then?
Yeah.
And then what did they do? They blocked.
They blocked.
They blocked him.
They blocked him.
Did they have something in their hand to block? How did they block him?
They did this. Stop.
Oh, she put up both her hands, like the stop sign hands, and said, stop, right?
Yes.
Oh, so they blocked him, and then he said sorry to you?
Yes, and he gave me a hug.
Oh. And what else?
And then we had a party for Grandma.
And how do you know it was a party? Whatever. Well, how did you know it was a party? Where was it at? Where was the party at?
At Grandma's house.
And you said it was my birthday?
Yeah.
So how do you know it was a party?
Because
What did you see there?
everybody dancing with decorations and balloons. And the blue aliens came, and the bad one that said sorry to me for trying to hurt me.
The bad one that turned good came to the party too?
Yeah.
And then he was good from then on, right?
Yeah.
And you said the little blue aliens that look like a triangle chin and an oval head, black eyes, and round holes for ears, their names are?
Ducklings.
Ducklings, wow. What else? So, and they were blue too, right?
Yeah.
Now,
And they had 3 fingers and 3 toes.
did they have fingernails?
No.
Okay. And last week, my grandkids come over every other weekend to visit, and last week they saw a picture of the blue avian on the internet, just briefly. So, anything else you want to say, Alexis?
No.
But you would say the ducklings are there to protect you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Okay, say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Love you.
Love you.
Keep being diamonds.
Keep being diamonds and have good dreams.
What else? Anything else?
And have happy dreams.
Have happy dreams. Yes. Okay, so regarding the first part of episode 2, the scene is they're in the conference room. Corey was forced to. He didn't know anything of what he was going to do there. He just went by faith. You know, you got to ride with the flow with the ETs and, you know, build a relationship first so you can trust and love them and just go with the flow and have a little adventure. But everybody in that conference room, everybody in that meeting knew what they were going to do that day, and I'll let you listen to David and Corey's show, knew what they were going to encounter that day. Corey didn't. But anyway, he was up on in the front, and the raw tier appeared, blue avian. But not only that, there was another being with raw tier, the golden-headed triangle being, and Corey alluded that he didn't know what that being was. I think he said he'd never seen him before. But Chris has. And Chris, why don't you explain when did you meet this being, about what time frame, and describe who he is and what he is and how this all plays in.
Okay, yeah, this, I was curious about this golden-headed being. He seemed familiar, but, I still wanted to know a name, and who he was, what he was doing. And one night I was I was ready for my nightly channeling, which was about at 10:30 at night. This was within the past week or so. This happened where I got a channeling from the Ra group. First, it was the Blue Avians that were speaking, and they said they wanted to introduce me to their core aspect. They called him, or the core self, and I said, all right. And then out comes this large golden-headed being. He kind of looked like a bird, but he didn't. He had a solid gold shimmering head. I could see his face.
So Chris, when that being came to you, when you saw that being, did it click in your head that you went back to when you heard Corey and David's show that this might be the being, or when did you come to that point that was the being that Corey was talking about?
Well, when I was watching that episode, when something is true, I automatically see the scene play out. And as Corey was describing it, I saw the golden-headed guy. But when the actual guy came to me, he looked exactly the same. He was tall, thin. He looked kind of like the rest of the Blue Avians. He was just golden and white. And he just then he said the rest of them said he was the core self. And I asked him what they meant by core self. And they said basically a confluence of energies pooled into one voice or one consciousness. He is the Ra group. He's bound to everything. And so he just identified himself as, he goes, I am Ra. I am Ra-ul Tem, he says. And he said he is the core aspect of the Ra group. And his vibration is incredibly high. This was the first time the Ra had ever spoken to me on this particular vibration. They've always spoken to me as normal, everyday people. But now they went into almost like I call it a Yoda speak, where it's all kind of broken English sounding, just exactly how Corey dictated down how the Ra group spoke in that episode. And David Wilcock asked them, why do they speak that way? I found out why they speak that way. It's because of the energy vibration that they are speaking on, and they have to. I don't want to say downgrade. That's the wrong word. They have to filter their language down into the density that we're in, so it's broken up like that. And they had never done that before that point. And they always sounded with very fluent English. Even my guide Simeon, he sounds normal, but whenever the Blue Avians or Ra-ul Tem comes through, it's within that broken English.
Did the Golden Triangle head, what did you say his name was?
Ra-ul Tem. That would be Ra-ul-Tem.
Did he give you any message or anything at that time?
Yes, he just wanted me to keep going the way I was going. They basically said they were congratulating me for the use of the correct use of the law of one, they would be guiding me further, and Ra-ul Tem himself would be guiding me further. But then they said they would be issuing tests. Like I hadn't had enough of them from other guides and such. But I told them, I was like, well, haven't I done enough of them? And they said, no, we are only just starting. So I'm like, all right, I accept that. I take whatever you throw at me.
Well, just so you guys know, on the Diamonds Network, we have a show every Monday and Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can go to the Diamonds blog, Diamonds with an S Forever, 31.blogspot.com to find all the show times. We are engaging with the Law of One, and the Law of One is the trumper of all laws. I explained that on this first episode of Raw Speak. And we're using that, and we just stumbled into it, I'll tell you. We just stumbled into how we're using it. I think it was Tyler that came in 2 or 3 months ago and said that we were galactalizing, said that they took one of the big bad boy toys down. And Chris is just going to go over it, but I interrupted and I asked, hey, can we know what toy you took down? And they shared with us it was Harp. This was like 2-3 months ago. And then from there, we were already using the Law of One. We had an idea. Let's use the Law of One for more of these bad boy toys. And there's a lot of them we took down with the Law of One. The Law of One did. It's the Galactic Universal Prayer. It's a trumper. And you can listen to all those shows. And we're going to put a collage together of what the Law of One did. All right, so the next point in the show, they talked about the barrier being up again, Chris, and the blockade, so to speak, that they literally, because we talked about this on the Diamond Show, too, and asked our ET friends, when all of these beings and human beings went outside of our galaxy, I think, and then you put the barrier up, was that did you guys trick them to get out there? And they shared with us, yes, and they shared more detail. But Corey and David talk about the barrier being up, and it completely blocks out everybody that's outside, and they can't get back in until such a time as it's lifted. But the first episode that we did in Raw Speaks, we called in these factions, and a member of the Dark Fleet came in. And we prayed the prayer one, engaging with the Raw group, Blue Avians, Raw Tier Air, because they pleaded, and they gave their plead. You can listen to the first show. And they were able to come back in. The Blue Avians let them back in. And they talked about the barrier, and that there were some groups with humans that went outside of the barrier, and that might be the Dark Fleet too. I'm sure because the Dark Fleet man said there's a lot of humans in that group. Any more update on that, Chris, from last week, or anything you want to say about the barrier?
Let's see.
I know. In this episode, Corey said that almost all of the Galactic League of Nations of humans was locked outside of the barrier. They were caught outside the barrier system. And so I think one of those humans was the Dark Fleet, because they said they had family on Earth.
Yes. From what I could see, to recap the last time, this man that I encountered, that we shared a name, his name was also Christopher, from what he told me. I could see the Raw group energy telepathically communicating with him. I couldn't hear the conversation completely. I just know an agreement was struck, and then he told me that they agreed to follow the Law of One implicitly, and then they were allowed back in. They could not use violence within the system anymore. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to recap. I already recapped. I'm going to continue on this thread and look for this man that.
Okay. Yes, and we'll maybe get an update from that. But I really want to go there again, Chris, because of what Corey said. He said a whole Galactic League of Nations with humans there got caught outside the barrier. I just want to bring in who can give us an update with the Dark Fleet and those that were let back in. And I want to bring it on because the other ones that are caught out saw what happened with the Dark Fleet and the Blue Avians, and then they came back in through the Law of One, saying that they'll only do good and they'll whistle blow for the highest good of all humanity. Since they were a inspiration maybe and a motivation for others, maybe others have changed their heart. And so let's just see what goes on there. And let me just say the Law of One. I call in the blue flame of divine love. I call in collective consciousness. And thank you for coming, because we are all one. And when one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. So therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all that there is, I ask that only the highest good of all concerned happen in this situation. And I ask that only the highest good of all concerned happen in other situations in this universe like this. So be it, so it is, and thank you that this is done. And we just call in the beings that can update us on this, and if there's any other beings out there that just heard the law of one that's beyond the barrier, that have had a change of heart, come and step forward, and we will listen to your plea. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, the first beings that I see there's two of them. There's the one that we spoke to last time. His name is, like I said, he calls himself Christopher. That may have been a pseudonym. I don't know. But I see him, and I'm seeing another person, a woman, and they're both extremely telepathic. So I can see the woman. She's about, I would have to judge about maybe 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", somewhere in there.
Let's get the update from Chris first. How's that?
Well, it's whoever's coming through here.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to that when he comes through. Let's see. Yeah, and she's got, I would say, got brown hair. Looks like green eyes, green hazel eyes. And she's wearing the same outfit as I can see Christopher as well. And he's wearing. Oh, I was incorrect. That's not him. It's another woman. They both know who we're speaking of. Just that they had their hair up in the helmet. I couldn't tell if they were what gender. But
so both of them that came to you are women, right?
Yeah.
And then
they
describe them and ask them what fleet, what faction they're from too.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, and it looks like they're both Dark Fleet. And the other woman is also, she has darker hair and brown eyes, and they both established telepathic contact. So I'm going to see where they're leading me here. And it looks like they have the ability to do the bilocation like I do. So they're showing me a distant point in space, and they're showing me. Looks like they're opening like a hole to where I can see a different part in space, and they are showing me. They're showing me more of their people that are outside of the barrier, and I can see ships in another system these people that are outside the barrier went to. They went to another looks like another Earth-like planet. That's in a neighboring system, just so that they had a place to stay while they were outside of the system. And I'm seeing what these two women are showing me. Oh, okay. One of them said their name. So let's say one of them said their name is let's see. Crystal is the name of one of them. There might be using variations of my name just as a pseudonym. I'm not quite sure. But
can I interject really quick here?
Yes.
Just wanted to let the audience know I am, and hope Chris is. We're doing this because we have love in our heart, and and the law of one, and we wish that nobody that is willing and has a heart to interact with us on Earth, to go into the golden age, expand our consciousness, create beauty in the world. We wish that no one that gets locked out of that barrier, that has it truly in their heart in purity and love. And I'm sure the blue avians do too, and they're the ones that put the spheres put the barrier up. And so we're working with the blue avians too. So this is our point. I just want to bring that point forth. Thank you.
Okay. Now they are showing me the other person's name is Rachel, she said. And let me see here. What do they show me? Yeah, it's like a porthole they're showing me to where they're showing me the people that have been stuck outside. And they're saying not all of them were Cabal. It's just that the Blue Avians had an opportunity to lock out the bad guys, and several of the good guys got stuck out there as well, just like with the Dark Fleet people from last time. And I'm asking them who else is stuck out there that is good. And Now they are showing me. They have the ability to telepathically contact these people that are through the barrier, like what I did with this Christopher. Doesn't look like he's actually around this time. I'm asking them real quick where he's at. Oh, on the. They said he's on Earth, but they're not disclosing his location right now. Let me see. Okay, now they are showing me some spaceships that are approaching this hole that they've created, and they tried to pass it and they couldn't do it. So I'm going to call in. I'll just call in the raw group and see what we can arrange here, like last time. And I'm seeing. Okay. There's a large amount of interference here, but it looks like it's not any enemy forces. It looks like it's a spatial interference. So I'm going to I'll push through it a little bit. And okay, there was somebody that actually did step in. Give me a second, and I'll get rid of him. And they're not, the bad guys aren't wanting the good guys back in the system. So I'll call in Raul Tim to step in as the mediator. And he has, I can see him in front of me now. I'm telling him about these two people that contacted me, and he's going to them, and I can see him putting his arms around them and then talking to them, and they're both shaking their heads. I can't hear the conversation, but it looks like an agreement has been struck just like last time, and they agreed to. It looks like they are agreeing to the usage of the law of one only, and no more acts of violence. So I can see them going down to Earth, and then Raul Tim looks like he's opening up this hole, and there's this ship that's coming through, but he's closing it again. Just he let the one ship through. And I can see he is attaching himself to this vessel, and he's speaking to the entire crew. I'm going to see if I can hear him. Yeah, and he's talking to everybody. It looks like a majority of them are human. And looks like they are listening to him. And I can see them all shaking their heads. It looks like they've agreed to Raul Tim's terms with the law of one. So it looks like they're being allowed back in. It looks like they're going one thing at a time, like one small group of people, just to ensure they actually follow the rules. Let me see what's going on here. Okay, yeah, he closed that hole up, and then he just told me no more people are let in right now until these people can get acclimated. So let's see.
Very good.
Yeah. It looks
I
like.
just want to talk to that group, that ship that was let in inside the barrier, and the Dark Fleet that was let in inside the barrier on episode 1. I just want to talk to you guys and just let you know and offer you can always come to the Diamonds show and Galacta-wise with us, and we would really honor you and respect you, and we'll just keep building relationships together. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, and I can see the captain of this ship. I can see him standing on a bridge of a ship. It's a smaller triangular-shaped vessel with these little wing-like protrusions out the side. And he is. I'm seeing I'll see if he'll give me his name. He says his name is. He says his name is. Again, this might be a pseudonym, but he says his name is Benjamin. And he says, let's see if he's Dark Fleet too. He says they're a mix of Dark Fleet and other faction members, mostly Dark Fleet. And as I can tell by the uniform, they have a specific uniform to them. It's like a jumpsuit with it looks kind of like a dirt bike motorcycle uniform, and they have helmets that are like that. And I can see several of them. There's like both men and women, and there are a couple aliens aboard the ship. I'm not sure. I haven't seen their species before. Oh, okay. There is one that I have seen. It looks like there's an elephant person aboard their ship too. I saw him in the background. He just kind of poked his head around a door. I'm looking through their ship to see who else is around.
Yeah, regarding elephant people, we galactwise with what's called the Fab Four, and the captain, so to speak, of that Fab Four is an elephant man, and the elephant man is kind of like the Golden Triangle man, that's in the Raw group, Blue Avian group, and George, we call him, the elephant man is, like has many consciousnesses, a big group like the Blue Avians in him, George. Yeah, just want to add that.
Yes, and Benjamin just told me, he said, thank you very much. He thought it was unfair that they were locked out. So, and they're all thanking me, and I can see that small elephant guy in the background. He's kind of short. He's very short. He looks like he's about maybe 3 feet high. I don't know if he's a child. Oh, okay. Benjamin just confirmed that. He says he's a child. He's extremely short. He's one of their children. So that's one of the alien races that joined up with these people. What they were trying to do is balance things out a little bit. That's why they had aliens serve aboard some of these ships to try to steer it in a good direction. And Benjamin's telling me there are a lot more outside, but I'm telling him one thing at a time. Raoul Tim said that was the only ship allowed in for the moment.
And what did he mean by the aliens? A few aliens on the ship to try to steer in the right direction. What can you expand on? What you mean by direction to steer?
Well, some of the elephant people. There are some. And he's telling me there are elves aboard there too, elven people, and not just elephant, but elven people. And how they're steering them in a different direction is energy-wise. They were trying to get them to come out of what it is they were doing for the Cabal. And even though these guys are good guys, they still, did a few things that weren't frowned upon. But it looks like these other beings that are there are getting them to steer in the right direction. And then also Raoul Tim, coming forward, brought them up the rest of the way. So it looks like
oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow. Now we didn't know that, Chris. We didn't know that those the elephant and the elves beings were on board trying to help them, and then us here on Earth called, Blue Avians and them to see if they can come across the barrier. This is beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, and they're all smiling at the moment, and Benjamin pointed to his left, and there's a woman standing there, and he says that's his wife, and you're going to like this person's name. Her name's Beth. No, that he's pointing that's his wife, and he says, and she's stepping forward and saying, and they're reiterating these are their real names. They're giving us their real names. They're not pseudonyms or anything like that. So they're just humans. That's their real names
on Earth. On Earth, they're human. Okay.
Yeah, they're not aliases or anything like that. So
well, nice to meet you, Beth. You're stepping forward. Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, and she's saying her family loyally served good for a long time, and most of them just happened to be stuck in a different system when the barrier went up, and when the blockade came back up, they were horrified when that went up, because they like I said, they have family down here that doesn't really know what they do. They're some of the family members are in the dark. Some know, some don't, but a good majority don't. and they just thought that they hadn't seen their family members in a long time, and some families were told these people were dead. So they're going to get a big surprise here soon enough. But the cabal went around and acted like they died in the service of their country and all this other stuff, but they did not. They are very much alive. So and that makes me wonder how many times that's actually happened. But and then Benjamin just spoke up. He says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And people think that their family members are dead, and they're really serving their 20 years out there in the system.
Mm-hmm. And up in the moon, the secret space program, and maybe other programs, and anything else we don't even know about yet. I'm sure there is.
Oh yeah, and I had suspected this for a long time too, that a lot of these people aren't actually dead, and now they actually, since they have choice back, they're not going to do what the cabal tells them anymore. They're going to go down and spend time with their families. I told them they're going to be shocked when their families see them show up. But
when their families see what show up?
When they see their family members they were told were dead show up, right. And they're going to tell them everything. They're not going to hold back.
Good, good for you guys. You do it. Yes.
Because they got tired of all the. My father would call it a dog and pony show, but they're tired of all of that, and they want to be able to do what they're doing unhindered. And,
can I ask Beth a question?
Mm-hmm.
Hey Beth, you don't happen to belong to the Silver Legion, do you?
No, they know of the Silver Legion. They said though.
Okay, just wondering. Long story.
No.
We'll make it short.
Yeah,
wow.
And they said they know of them. They haven't interacted with them much, but they've been told of them.
Great. The Silver Legion, if anybody doesn't know, they're universal protectors. So they're like, they just protect all of us in the universe. They protect the whole universe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and this crew, I can see them all looking towards us. Like I'm looking from the perspective of like one ship, looking at another ship on a view screen, like you'd see on Star Trek, and they're all saying that they are completely devoted to peace now. They're not going to. They're even dismantling any weapons that are aboard the ship. They're not even going to use them. And
fantastic! So great to hear that from your mouth, your heart. Thank you.
And I can even see Beth, she all of a sudden materialized. First I thought it was a bird in her hand, but she said it was a hologram, and she's showing a gesture of peace, and it was of a dove, and she just released it and made it, particleized. So she meant that was it was a hologram. It wasn't a real bird, but it was a symbol, meaning they were devoted.
I felt that, Beth.
Peace.
Yeah, meaning peace, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
beautiful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like they are turning their ship around and they're heading down. They're going to land somewhere, so they're all waving and saying goodbye.
Goodbye. Where are they going to land? On Earth or somewhere else?
They're landing on Earth. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to see where their ship's going. Yeah, I can see the ship actually disappear. So it's actually cloaked somewhere.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Another part in episode 2 of First Encounter with David and Corey. They talk about the sphere group. Now, I believe, if I got it straight, the spheres surrounding this whole galaxy that are protecting the galaxy, and I'll go into that in a minute, are the Blue Avian group, but Chris can talk about more of that. But anyway, in this episode, we learned the spheres, there's like thousands of spheres that are surrounding our galaxy to help us in buffer storms of high-charged vibrational energies as they enter into this part of the galaxy. Those are our expanding consciousness energies that are coming in, but they're coming in so hard and heavy that these spheres are buffering them so we don't go, for the lack of other words, crazy, stir crazy, can't handle the energies that come too fast. And so that Mother Earth, can handle them and not have so many drastic weather changes, volcanoes, earthquakes. So we learned there's thousands of them. Now, I just want you to reiterate, am I right, the spheres are all the blue avians, or there's different beings? Can you just tell about the spheres real quick?
Yes, from what I picked up about the spheres, they are a collection or an amalgam of energy and technology, from what I can see from my perspective. And they are blue. They're of the blue avian origins. And Corey did have that correct. They are filtering these high intensity energy particles coming through the system. I mean, we feel this energy from time to time. Also, this other sun puts it out too. And but I mean, there's waves upon waves of this coming through, and that's what I experienced a little bit ago when I was talking to those other two women. I saw this wave of interference coming through, and I experienced that before when talking to Tyler as well once, where I just got waves of interference, and he said he was very surprised that I was able to communicate with him at all during that. It's almost like a storm. And these spheres are filtering a lot of that. We wouldn't be faring too well if it wasn't filtered. They're going to eventually, let more of it through. The more like a weaning process, to where we get used to it after a while, and eventually we will be used to it. But from what I've been told, we eventually won't need the filtration system.
Right.
But right now we do.
Mm-hmm. Or diffusing the energy. That diffusing means it's the same energy, it's just expanding it out more, so like a lighter concentration, so we can handle it with ease, maximum efficiency, minimum effort, and supreme happiness, guys. Yes. So now let's go to the meeting room on the Moon Operation Command. We're in that meeting. Corey's there with the blue avian, raw tier air on stage with the Golden Triangle Man, and they have a Q&A session, and one of the people ask a question to raw tier air, and they ask where you go when you dematerialize, meaning where do you go when you leave, just disappear off the stage. And don't quote me, but Raw Tier said something, we require no conveyance. What does that mean? Chris, do you know?
Meaning, from here to there, from where I see, them go. This is, sometimes it can get complicated, but from where I see the Raw group go, it's a completely different realm. It would look, I've seen two versions of it. One is like a setting sun on a beach, with water leading out to a big, big golden sun, which I was told is the collection of the Ra group energy. And another version is it looks almost like a heavenly sort of thing with clouds and blue sky and like a big sun towards the center of the clouds, kind of in like a vortex formation going towards this sun. And what they meant by no conveyance is they don't need to go from here to there. They don't always need technology, even though I have seen them aboard technology and using technology. When they go to their other realm, they don't need it. They can just, for lack of a better term, they can snap their fingers and they're there. And they can just dematerialize and take that energy form, and they can go back and forth whenever they want.
Okay, and then the rest of his answer, or some of it, I'm not quoting, is he said they adjust back to our reality. Others remained in cloaked status, undetected by those around them. From that question, I kind of got like, others remain in cloaked status, undetected by those around them. Are they some of these blue avians in human bodies here on Earth? Do you know?
Yes, I would say yes to that. Like Corey himself is an incarnated blue avian. I am associated with the blue avians, even though I'm associated with other soul groups like the Elohim and all of them. The Ra group was always the first one I was drawn to. They also mean other blue avians that decide to remain solid and just stay in a different density and watch. The Anunnaki did something similar, but the blue avians do that as well, where they'll sit and watch, and this is where the technology part comes in. They do use it. It's not like they are completely without it. They do use technology. It's just that some people have not seen them use it too often.
Okay, Chris, you said that Corey himself is a what blue avian? What did you say?
He is an incarnated blue avian. He is the soul of a blue avian.
You said he's an incarnated blue avian. Maybe Corey doesn't know that himself. Maybe it's the first time he heard, but maybe he does. But how did you learn that?
Well, I did a channeling. This was back when Valiant Thor told me that there was a serious problem with Corey. At first, I thought that he was aiming at that he was an imposter, and that is not true at all. What he was hinting at is that Corey had an attachment, a Draco attachment, a couple of them. I rid him, me and Raul Rainier, rid him of these attachments, and then out of his soul seat or center of gravity, as I call it, popped out a soul of a blue avian. And I cannot remember the name offhand. It was a long name, but I will post this channeling later on in time. But this blue avian came out, and he looked really baffled, and he looked really disoriented. And Raul Rainier came up to him, and we both asked if he was all right, and he says he felt strange, but he would be okay. And then I noticed he went back into Corey's soul seat, or center of gravity. I noticed Corey's energy lightened up a little more, and I could see the blue energy coursing through his veins and everything. So there's a genetic component there with him as well. But a small one, like myself, I found out that there's a genetic component there. And,
beautiful.
And it turned out to be good. The attachments are gone. I stamped his energy with the Law of One symbol that we came across, and it's all good now.
That's great. I hope Corey can stumble onto this information for him to know about himself. It's all good. Now, how long ago was this? I think it was like a couple months ago, right? 2 or 3 months ago?
Yes, it was between 1 and 2 months ago, yes.
So that would have been May, June,
mm-hmm.
July, something like that. Yeah, I think May, June. Yeah, and if you want, Chris, I think Corey has a website. You could just mail him, through his contact, email him that channeling you got. That would encourage him. That'd be great.
Yes, and that would be a good idea. Or send it to his email or print it out and send it to him. Yeah, that I had planned on sharing it with him. I just didn't know how to go about doing it. But I'm just going to post it and see if he sees it. Oh,
yeah, and you can. Yeah. Okay, great. So we're back to the meeting room, in this meeting where everybody in the meeting room, even many, many, many that are up in swivel chairs, that are in different uniforms, different country clothing, from all around the world, that, by the way, got there by these space hovercrafts that pick you up and bring you to the moon in 3 or 4 minutes, like Corey. They're all there. They're all knowing that they're going to meet a new species, the blue avians, and Corey's translating for them. And then they have a Q&A session, and there's a lot of Corey, by the way, doesn't understand all these questions the audience are asking. He said there's a lot of tactical questions, a lot of military. These people are kind of like in the war kind of mode in their heart. Their consciousness is like ours, and our consciousness is morphing from war mode to love mode. So they were thinking, the blue avians are going to be their saviors. They're going to help them with giving them technology for offense or defense. I get those mixed up. But what I'm saying is the story, how it pans out, is these people in the meeting room from all over the world, their consciousness is changing too, from war zone to love zone. And the blue avians, the raw group, the Law of One, is basically, I see here, to help us change our consciousness, encourage us, empower us to change it back to our natural state, and that's love and the highest good of all concerned. So that's good that they met with the blue avians in that meeting room in the Moon Operation Command and heard the blue avian side of that. I just want to bring that forth, that even all these people attending the meetings, their consciousness is changing too. So we've heard, in the years that you do your intel and research and listen to all these shows, that the intel says, the ETs are going to be our saviors, they're going to save us, and, but really the blue avians want us, the people, we the people, to stand up en masse and say no more. Like the ducklings, the little blue men and my granddaughter talked about, the little ducklings, these little blue beings, they put both their hands up in the stop mode, and how they blockaded and they said, stop. And then, they stopped. You'll hear the story. But just stop. We want to stand up en masse and say, stop. We're done with this. We don't want this. Come on, let's change it up, So anything you want to bring out on that, Chris? And then I just want to call in any beings that want to add to the show that are out there that would like to come in and add to what all we've been talking about today.
Okay, yeah. I'll touch on these ducklings first. This seemed fascinating to me when you told me about this. So I wanted to see if I can find who these beings were, which I had the sneaking suspicion it was the blue avians. I thought it was fairly obvious, but they said one was bad and then turned good. And this sounds like the whole Corey thing, where there was an attachment, then he felt sick, and then he wasn't. So this seems very similar to me on that note. So I'm going to see if I can find who these beings, this other being was, and that your granddaughter heard. So I'm looking now and see if I can find, because I know there's several species of bird people. They don't all look alike. So they're not like clones of each other. So let me look here. And I'm seeing like this room. I'm seeing like this situation play out where there's this room, and I'm seeing your granddaughter watching these beings, and I'm seeing one that's in shadow at the time. I'm seeing it as it played out. It's been fixed, but I'm seeing it as it played out. And I'm seeing one that was probably no higher than her walk up to her. I think they made themselves short just so that she could relate to them. And I'm seeing this black one. It's like a jet black duck with I can see the bill. Kind of reminds me of an extremely angry, like Daffy Duck looking guy. And they kind of all remind me of like a Daffy Duck looking. I have a feeling they chose that form on purpose for her benefit, but to make her laugh or something like that. But this black one I can see is kind of approaching her very aggressively, and the others just materialize and step in front of him and push him back, and I can see his black feathering as he's kind of almost in like a fainted type of state, or a trance-like state, where he's kind of ready to faint or fall over. And I can see his feathers being turned to blue, and I can see one of them whispering in his ear. I'm seeing if I can hear what the other's saying. And one is saying, "You are one of us, brother. Stop it." And I can see him. He falls over, and he's blue and purple and luminescent again, and he stood up. And I can see I can see some things she didn't see. Like I said, for her benefit, they made themselves smaller. But I can see they are definitely blue avians and bird people. And I can see them all looking at me, and they're showing me how the scene played out. How I'm asking why they came to her, and they said, let's see. They said, we are Ra. We are educating the one known as Alexis. And I said, education,
Glory.
question mark. And I said, education, question mark. And they said, we are showing her the way it is. And they're pointing to me. They said, just like we did for you, and they're pointing to me. And I had said in the first episode where I saw beings come to me when I was about, I would assume she's about 5.
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
Yeah, 5, 6. Yeah, and I was about that same age. So, and they're doing the same identical thing they did for me. And they're all smiling. I can see the scene fade now. That's what they wanted to touch on. They faded it out now. But That's very interesting to see that they're coming to her in the exact same fashion as they did for myself.
Beautiful. I just wanted to encourage everybody, every mother, every grandma, every grandpa, every father out there, with the Law of One. Use the Law of One prayer for your grandchildren, your children. Somebody like Chris looked into my family and said that there's a lot of beings around your grandchildren. So when they come to your house, they stay with me every other weekend. Just ask those beings that are around them to download into them, to initiate them. And I've been doing that. And then you'll hear, just at dinner last night, she just brought the stream out, and then we recorded it. So I want to encourage you guys, use the Law of One. Come to the Diamond shows, and you listen, you'll learn it. It's really simple, and you'll learn a lot about that. So go ahead, Chris.
Yes, I'll see what else they wanted to bring through. It looks like they're switching gears here. They switched from confirming that was them to, what are they showing me? Okay, and it looks like they're showing me around the globe, and this is still the Blue Avians. Yeah, they're showing me around the globe. They're going to children roughly around that age, between like 3 and 6 years old, and they are educating them. Some of them will have dreams, like what Corey said, like I believe this is in a later episode, but said they would have dreams that are like classrooms. I've had that exact same thing all the time in the past. And they're showing, they're educating a lot of people, helping them raise their vibrations. So this new generation will not be like the previous generations. They are, some of them are incarnated members of Ra, like myself and Corey. Others are from other soul groups. Others are not. They are educating everybody all the same. And it looks like when these children hit a certain age, they're going to start to bring out this knowledge in like, say, artwork, writings, film, what else, television, everything. And yes, we will still have television shows and stuff after disclosure. That's not all going to vanish. We're still going to have all those shows that we like. Yeah. And
all the mass media will be of beauty and happiness and goodness. Yeah.
Mhm. Yes, and that's what I'm seeing. And these children will usher in the next golden age, and they are aptly nicknamed the Golden Children. And I've heard of the Golden Children before. I've run across several of them. But I can see why they're called the Golden Children, because it's this giant golden-headed being, Ra'ul Tim, since he's the core essence of the Ra group, and he's filtering this to them. Of course, they would have golden in their energy, along with the blue of the Blue Avens.
Yeah, and we're going into the Golden Age.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yes, I'm seeing what else they're showing me. Yeah, they're just showing me that they're going up behind these children as they're even awake and asleep. I can see them putting their hands to their skulls and uploading this knowledge to them. I can see this energy stream of golden particles and blue particles and white particles going into from behind these children. I can see it's like a energy stream of shimmers going into these children, and then it's also going to the adults as well. And
I want to add. That's what I was going to add really quick, Chris. Is we are all children. You all have the adults. You all have your little child inside of you. It's just been stuffed and oppressed from all the programming. But if you can bring out and love yourself and bring out that little 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old child out through your heart, they'll visit you too.
Mhm. Yes, and also this is something Michael stressed too. It looks like the Ra group they speak in terms of celestial calendars, like astrology. All the beings out there do it, and I'm going to see. I don't know if they're showing me a date or what. They're not showing me a date. They're just uploading this knowledge along with it, so these children will be able to tell time out there in the universe, and they'll already know it when they go out there in the universe. and people will use this as a timetable, use astrology as their clock. It'll literally be on like a watch. They can literally say this planet is in retrograde, et cetera, et cetera. It'll be like that on watches and clocks.
Absolutely. And throughout the show, we talked about meetups. You guys can meet up. It's in your heart and your intention. And we talked about on one of the Diamond shows that beings came in and said, you know, they're meeting up with people around the world. And I just want to put it for record. Me and my friend went out to meet up with you guys. We're waiting for you. You heard us talking and reasoning with you. So we're ready to go up there on a ship like Corey and bring it back to the world. Just encourage and empower you all of it. So if it's in your heart, and not just to meet for the awe of it, but we're galactalizing, we're co-creating, and in a process we're co-creating, and soon, you know, within, Franco D. Nicola says around 2030, it could be a little before or a little after 2030, Earth will be like Star Trek and, you know, the bar scene in Star Wars, and we'll be co-creating together. So.
Yes, that's absolutely true from what I've seen, and there's also other things that included in that. Some of the technology we'll get out of it will be like, say, the replicator systems, the you know, even flying cars like people have been promised. You know, like those ships that can come pick people up in 2 to 3 minutes. They're roughly the size of like a car or a van, and they can jump from like the moon to Mars to Earth in a matter of minutes. And people will get this technology plus a lot more. They'll eventually, cities will levitate. People will be able to just step through a portal and go to different cities all over the world. Nobody will have to fly airplanes anymore. Those will become obsolete. All of that stuff will become obsolete. Money becomes obsolete. Hunting will become obsolete because we have the replicator system. We won't need to hunt for food or slaughter animals or anything like that. Growing food like, say, apples and pears and corn and wheat and all of that, they still encourage that. You know, that the farms will be around, but the food will be free of anything like GMOs or anything like that. It's all going to be healthy. Even the stuff that's bad for us, like, say, candy, it won't cause us to become obese anymore. You know, we can eat it all we want, and we're still going to look like a Nordic. So that's also another good thing to look forward to.
Absolutely, and all what Chris just said, that can happen very fast, and very fast pace, like in a week or 2 or 3 months, you know, all of that. The minute we get it, it can just, in a blink of an eye, happen. And there's a transition in that because we're not used to it, but we will, you know, we'll transition through it. We'll have fun and kind of go crazy at first, but then and get it all out of our system, what we've been yearning for a long time. And then we'll get busy and plant our feet and get busy co-creating together, loving each other with the law of one, creating beauty in this earth, Mother Earth, and in ourselves even more, and everything. Now, Chris, I just wanted to ask if there's any beings out there that has a pertinent short message for us that wanted to sum up what we've talked about on this call. If I want to just give them a chance to share.
Yes, I can see, let's see, I see Tyler and I see the Blue Avians. And,
well, we can't refuse either one of them.
No. And Tyler, let's see what he says. He says to reiterate what has been said, this revolution that's going to take place. You know, you would call it the love revolution. Jesus called it the love reckoning to me one time, and he says this is which is aptly named. Yeah, he's showing me the Earth is just coated in this energy after a while, and the Blue Avians. And now he's stepping back. He's stepping back, and the Blue Avians are ending with, "We are Ra. We are one with all there is. We are love. We are oneness. We are life unending. You humans will know this to be true soon." And I can see them bowing and they are stepping back, and the scene is fading now.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Namaste. And Chris, you have any last words you want to say before I finish this up?
I believe that they've said it all today.
No, you.
Oh, yeah. I actually agree with them. And I felt this coming for some time. A bloody revolution is just not going to work. As much people want to overthrow these bad guys, I count myself one of them. But the violent overthrow is just simply out of the question. It's just not going to work. It's just going to continue this cycle of karmic debt that nobody needs nor wants. And this Gandhi way of doing things is much, much better. And people will come to know this very, very soon.
Thank you, Chris. That was great. And everybody, just be sure to listen to episode 1, and this is episode 2, and episode 3 is soon to come. And we are making them in order to coincide with David and Corey's cosmic shows that are on Gaim TV, GAIMTV.com, less than $10 a month to listen to that More Than Their show of beauty. And also go to the Diamonds with an S Forever 31.blogspot.com. On the right-hand side, you'll see both YouTube channels, Diamonds Network YouTube channels, where you'll find the shows. On the blog, I blog, learning who you really are and lots of good news, and plus all the shows. Be sure to come to the shows on Mondays and Thursdays. You'll find all the information on the blog. Let's see, what else? And this I just want to end with a short paragraph or so. This is from, I believe, in Standing with the Blue Avians, and all of us on Earth that are in love, purity of love, and all beings that are working within the law of one. We're all connected. We all have a joint mass consciousness. We are all one, the law of one. The raw material, the law of one, we're going into expanding consciousness. More loving, forgiving, service to others on a daily basis. Empathetic, and we help others daily to rise our consciousness and our vibration. So keep on shining, you diamonds. Shine and shine bright. Love you. Have a great day.
Are you looking for healing or a change in your life to help you enjoy it more fully? You might benefit from a galactic energy reading and clearing from Chris Jacobs. Chris will work with you on a soul level to clear unseen negative influences, implants, programs, contracts, and energetic blocks. Chris Jacobs is a gifted energy healer. Contact him today at ChristopherStephenJacobs@gmail.com.